Hi everybody, welcome to the Knitting TurnPike. Welcome to the Knitting TurnPike. My name is Gina Pike. I'm so very happy that you're here with me today. Today we're going to be doing a video, catching you guys up, doing a vlog type of video. Let's see, I haven't done a video since last year, so Happy New Year. Hope this New Year is off to a great start for each and every one of you. I'm so happy you're here with me. If you are new here, I like to talk about knitting and a little bit about crochet, more about knitting. Today I have some projects to talk to you guys about. I have one finished project. I have several whips I'm going to be working on, and I'm going to be sharing some yarn with you guys, and I told you guys I'm going to be knitting from my stash, kind of an update about how I'm going to be doing that, maybe a little bit about how I'm going to be organizing that, how I organized some of it. I have been working on it, so kind of my plan moving forward with some of that. And I'm also going to be sharing some whips that I pulled out of the room and want to get started on and try to get some of those done this year. So kind of, if you'd like, just sit down, join me. I'd love to have you sit here with me and let's talk about all this stuff. You might want to grab something to drink. I think it's going to be a little bit of a long one today. So grab something to drink, or grab your knitting or crochet and sit down with me for a little while we have a little bit of a chat. I would love that. All right, so the first thing I want to talk about is my finished objects. If you guys followed me during Vlogmas, you guys saw me open 4 Advent sets, and I decided during Vlogmas to go ahead and start using the yarn from one of these sets. That was the Miss Babs Festive Watercolor Advent Set for 2022. A beautiful color of palettes of pinks, greens, blues, and purples. Kind of my colors that I like. And I knew that I was going to get those kind of colors before I bought that yarn set. And I knew they would be tonals, or mostly tonals. And so I decided, after seeing like the first few days, I decided to go ahead and start knitting a pattern with those yarns. And I would just go in the order that they were being opened. So I picked Amba O'Brien's Adventurer Wrap. And if you guys followed me during Vlogmas, you saw me cast on that project, and you guys saw me knitting it up. And I believe the last day of Vlogmas, I was around day 13. I think that's where I ended. Or I know that was where I last showed you. I did do a vlog after Vlogmas. That's where I showed you guys. I think I ended day 5 or 6, and then I got to day 13, and I showed you the last vlog of 2022. I was on day 13. There are 25 colors in this set. So I'm finished. That's what I'm going to show you is, so I started it here. This is a long, kind of rectangular, angular wrap though. You can see this was what you've seen so far, all the pinks. And then where I last stopped was where this snowflake marker was. And I was just starting to get into the blues. And that was day 13. And you can see the different days. It's a 36 row repeat, but 18 rows for each color. So you have, this is day 13, day 14, day 15, day 16, day 17, one of my favorites, that beautiful teal. Then day 18, we started getting into the purples. Day 19, day 20, day 21, day 22, day 23, day 24, and day 25. So we ended with purples. This is what it looks like. It is very, very long. This is what it looks like unblocked. I'm going to take some time after I finish filming, and I'm going to wash it and block it, and I'll insert a clip of it blocked. Here is the stole blocked out. I decided not to block it aggressively, so I just did it 2 mats wide. I wanted to not kind of keep it more like a wrap. You can kind of see though, it is very, very long. Let me just kind of give you a view. down there, right there. Forgive her, I'm taking that tree down, and I got Christmas boxes right there, so please excuse that. Still taking down Christmas stuff this weekend, and undoing all that, but there it is, blocked out. Let me just kind of go over it a little bit closer so you can see it. As you can see, it's a 18-row repeat for each color, and it's mostly just simple stitching. It does have the central double decrease, which created this beautiful line going throughout all the colors, and it's going across it in a unique way to create an interesting look to the stole. You can see all the different colors, 1 through 25 from the Miss Babs Advent. The ending does fan out a little bit more down here, and I pinned all of those chevrons to a point, and there it is, all finished. I'll insert a final picture here so you can see it in the entirety. Thank you guys so much for letting me share that finished project, and for letting me share that as I knitted it during Vlogmas with you. It was such a fun project. One of the things I'm really excited about, though, is I have leftover from that project. This is the yarn I have left over. I ended up having about 7 to 8 grams from each one of the colors left over. So I did the math on that, and that is going to be over a full skein of yarn. It's over 100 grams left over. So I'm thinking, since I want to be working on this year, for me, I want to be making, I'm still going to make shawls, and I'm still going to make lace, but I also want to make more practical things like socks and sweaters. So I'm going to be casting on some socks. I'll talk about that in a minute. But I am going to save this yarn, and I'm thinking of making some scrappy socks out of this yarn. That'd be really cute. It'd be a lot of ends to weave in, but I'm thinking that I'm going to save this yarn because there's enough yarn with the scraps to make some scrappy socks. And I think that would be really fun to have a shawl and some scrappy socks from an Advent set. So that's my plan. I'll set that aside for now. And let's now get into some of the whips. Some of the items I'm currently working on. Some of the things I'm going to be doing for this year is I'm going to be doing stash reduction. I mentioned that, working from my stash. I have a plan on that. That is a little bit longer. I'm going to be getting to that later on in this podcast about how I'm going to be doing that. And I have been taking a look at that. And maybe giving you guys some numbers, showing you guys some video to support this. It's a little complicated. I'll be showing you some stuff on Ravelry, but I'm happy to do that. And I already have identified about 78 items in my stash that I'm willing to get rid of and can be used for giveaways or some donations or something like that. So I've already reduced that down some. I haven't given it all away yet. That's some of that's going to be given away here on this channel. So that should be fun. All right, so the next thing I want to talk about is another project that I'm working on. I haven't touched this since the vlog. I've been working on the Adventurer wrap. But I am going to be working on this. I'm going to be picking this up now. I'm going to be working on the Aurora cabin shawl. This is from Stephen West. This is his Hybrid Knit Along 3. They started this on December the 26th. I'm actually on section 5 because I started this in November. I'm to the point where I'm going to be starting this slip stitch colorwork repeats again. That we do this part 3 times. So I just finished these these alternation of color rows. This shawl is a lot of slip stitch colorwork. You can see what the back looks like with the slip stitch. It's very neat. You don't slip more than 2 or 3 stitches at a time, so you can see how neat it stays. One of the things I did get asked in Ravelry was about when you do this colorwork section here, you have all 5 colors attached, and you are like taking the color that you're using underneath the other colors. And somebody asked me how neat it goes up the side. This is the side that it went up. It went up really, really neat. I think it's partly because you are stopping 3 stitches before the edge and doing an I-cord, and I think it helps it stay a lot neater. But that's what it looks like. The back of it looks like. You can see I need to trim the ends after I block it, but those are all woven in. And anyway, I think it looks really neat, and so I'm excited to get started on that color slip stitch color work section here. Probably tomorrow I'll get started on it, since I finished this adventure wrap. I wanted to get that wrap finished, and it was a lot of fun to do. But now I'm going to be working on this and be working on some of my other projects. I'm going to start alternating them. I get really kind of tunnel vision sometimes, like when I'm working on a project, I don't want to finish it up. I'm going to try to alternate my time between the Aurora cabin shawl. The rows are going to get very long, like over 500 to 700 stitches in a couple of sections here that I'm about to get to, long each row. So that's going to take some time to get through those and get through that. And that's really some awesome knitting, because it's really easy knitting. Great to do when you're watching TV or listening to a book, audiobook, or having conversations with friends. It's not something that's hard to do, so it's great for winter knitting and doing stuff like that. I have 2 projects that I want to cast on. I told you guys I was going to be doing more sweaters. I have 2 sweater projects that I want to share with you that I want to start working on. One I have done a gauge swatch for, but I probably do need to redo it, because it's been a while since I did the gauge swatch. And then I have 2 things of socks I want to cast on. Sweaters and socks. That's what I want to work on. So the first thing I want to show you, I was going to cast on a pair of socks for Brian, and I'm going to show you the yarn that I want to use for him. It is, I've mentioned this before, I'm just going to do the vanilla socks on 9-inch circulars, except I think these are magic loops. So for his, I'm going to do magic loop, and I'm just going to use this patent Crochet sock. It's mostly gray and black, and it might have a little bit of dark purple. Don't tell him that, but looks a little bit more charcoal kind of, but kind of purple too, and a little bit, maybe a little bit of teal. But if he asks, I'm gonna say it's charcoal. Anyway, this color is called it's patent Crochet tourmaline stripes. You can see it right there. I think I just got that off of Amazon. And each skein makes 1 sock, so that's already divided, so that's nice. I just wanted something simple to reacquaint myself with socks, because I've only done 1 pair of socks, and it was over a year ago. It was in March of 2021 when I knitted those green socks. So I did cast on these, and I was going to do these for my socks. I had wound up this sock yarn from Timber Yarns. I want to knit, it's just a self-stropping sock yarn from Timber Yarns. It's called Holiday Magic. Here's the label, Timber Yarns. It's twin sock. It's this label, Holiday Magic is the name. Let's see, where's that? Oh, it's right there. Anyway, I was going to do those. However, in going through all my stuff, I found these that I had already cast on. One, I want to knit my socks in tandem, so I need to cast on the other sock, and these will be mine. Of course, Brian wouldn't be caught dead in pink and purple, but this is another yarn from Patent Crochet. This is, let's see, what is this called? Purple Haze. You can see the label there. And so since I saw these and these are already cast on, I think I'm going to practice with these for me. And then after I get those done, I will use the timber yarn to practice some more. And then I want to start doing more complicated socks. And I'm going to have to practice a little bit before I can do those self-strappings and weaving in all those ends and get to where I want to be. So so that's the plan. Instead of doing the timber yarns first, I'm going to go ahead and do these patent croys, and for me and for Brian. So that will be fun to do. So that's the plan for the socks. All right. So and the other thing I told you guys I wanted to do was to start making sweaters. So this was the gauge swatch that I did for for the sweater. I want to make Brian in this beautiful. I want to make the Boucheron sweater for him. It's by Designs by Delz, D-E-L-Z. But I want to make the main color in this, and then the top color is kind of a mixture of the two colors. This is one color, and then the other color for him, I'm going to use this dark red. Now, both of these yarns are from Cascade Yarns. Let me show you the label. This yarn is the Superwash 220. It is 100% superwash wool. It is 100 grams, 220 yards. It is a DK weight yarn. It's a light 3. And as is this one. As is this one. It's the same kind of yarn. This is Cascade 220 Superwash. So this color that the main color I'm going to use for him is this dark charcoal brown. It's called, yeah, it's Jet. That's the color, Jet. It's an almost black. It's a dark charcoal gray, but almost black. And then this color here is color 855, and it's a maroon color. Let me take one out. You can see, I think they're going to look really nice together. So that's for Brian's sweater. That's one of the sweater quantities of yarn. I'm going to be going through that. I'll probably do a separate video on the sweater planning. Because when I was going through my stash, I figured out I have about 26 sweater quantities of yarn, which is some of that's going to be tops as well, summer tops. Some of it's linen and cotton, and so some of that's going to be tops. It's not going to be sweaters, but I'll go through the planning of that. These are just 2 sweaters that I've wanted to make, and these are the 2 I think I'm going to do first because they're more winter sweaters, and it is winter, and I want to go ahead and get it finished. Now, I'm not going to get this finished quickly, but hopefully I can get it finished in a few months and just keep working on this. Yeah, Brian, I won't get it finished before Brian's birthday, but because his birthday is in February, but I can just at least maybe get it started. All right, the sweater I want to work on for myself is called the Humulus sweater, and it's by Isabel Kramer. And it's a really pretty yoke sweater with drop yoke sweater with a little pattern like right through here. So the main color that I want is going to be this color here, this gray. This is 874. This is Cascade 220 Superwash wool, and the color in this is, hold on, this color is gray. It's actually 874 Ridge Rock is the color. That's what this looks like. That's this. And then the color I'm going to use for the yoke is a red color, and it's ruby. No, it's a little bit brighter red. This is Cascade Yarns 220 Superwash. This is color 893, and it's called Ruby. His is maroon, and mine is ruby. So mine's a little bit brighter red, but it'll be these 2 together like that. I think that'll be really pretty. So that's the one I want to do for myself. So I'm going to try to start working on those. Those will be, you know, both of them will take some time, but I want to start working on those and work on them for a while and then eventually get them done. Hopefully. The socks and then the sweaters and go from there. One of the other things I'm going to be doing, I'm going to talk about the stash reduction here in a minute, but I also want to talk a little bit about whips. I showed you guys last year around December my whips, and they're out of control. And you know what? I did not touch a one of them. Not a one of them. Even though I had like only a little bit to finish on a couple of them, I still did not touch them. Like the Nymphia Stellata shawl, I still have to finish that crochet bind off, and it's a single crochet bind off on a knitted lace shawl. The pattern is by Tiziana Samurai, and I'm just this close to being finished. So I'm going to be trying to work that in trying to work that in on this month. I have that right here. I've just got this little itty bit left to finish. It's so pretty. It's super lacy. I used a Diana dye yarn. You can see how lacy it is. Super beautiful. And I just have to finish off the bind off of it. I've done some of it. Like I'm right here. I've done this much of the bind off. So I've got this much left. It's quite a bit though. It is quite a bit. So anyway, I need to work on this. So that's one of the whips I'm going to try to work on. I'm going to try to work in a couple of whips every month, but some of the whips are going to take longer than a month to finish. Actually, I'm going to try to work in 3 this month, but I probably will only finish 2. Like this one is 1. The other whip I'm looking at is the blanket, the Sophie's Universe blanket by Deidre Eusis. I did that like 5 years ago, and I've got like 4 rows to finish around the edge. I think I'm not going to add the granny squares. I think I'm just going to finish this and then let it be done. I don't know. That was my question, was there's some granny squares you can add on either side to make it bigger. And I think that's where I stopped. Should I add the granny squares? Should I not add the granny squares? I think I'm just going to finish the 4 rows and be done with it. And 5 years is long enough for to let that sit. So that's the second whip. The third whip I want to look at is a top I started a while back. This is the Sakura top. I've shown you guys this summer. I showed you this, that I was working on this. And I'm trying to figure out where I was. Let's see. This is kind of this is where it is. It was a lace top. Lace at the top. And then it has lace. There's the sleeves. And so I got to do the sleeves, and then there's lace panels throughout. See, you can see how there's 3 lace panels right there, and I needed to add more because I remember now this was the end of it, but I needed to add more because it was not long enough for my torso. So I needed to do a couple more lace panels and then work on the sleeves, and then I'd be done. And this yarn I have enough yarn, thank goodness, to do all of that. This is a linen yarn, linen base yarn. Let's see. This is, hold on, let me get the label here. This yarn is from Juniper Moon Farm. It's the Zoe yarn. And the Zoe is 60% cotton, 40% linen. The color is 16, and that's called Sloop. S-L-O-O-P. Anyway, that's what I'm doing. And that's where, that's another colorway. This will take a little bit longer to finish, but once I finish the shawl, the blanket, then I'm going to work on this whip. So I'm going to try to work the 2 sweaters, the 2 pairs of socks, and this top, and the Aurora cabin shawl. And I've got to space my time out throughout the month. So that's what I'm going to be working on in January. That's the plan. That's what you guys will be seeing here, seeing me finish this up. And as I learn tips and tricks, I will be sharing those here on my channel. There is another thing I did want to start, and I forgot to mention this as well. As I'm sitting here, I'm thinking about, I forgot to mention this. There is there's actually 2 more installments to the Lace Lovers Club from Rami Hill Designs that were released last year. That the patterns will release this year. I want to get the second one started. I've done the first one. The first one was Tone Poem. I'll put a picture in here right here. It's beautiful shawl, 2-color shawl, super lacy. I made it super big, really pretty. I used Diana dye, bamboo yarn. It was really pretty and really fun to do. Now I'm going to do Rose of the Aegean, and I have this beautiful turquoise yarn. This is Marinated Yarns, Anita Lace. And the colorway is, it's called Aegean Dreams. Isn't that beautiful? And you've got these beautiful green beads. I will put a picture of it here. And there, she also gave a shawl pin as well. Isn't that pretty? It's such a pretty, pretty offering. And I need to wind up that yarn and use it to get started. And I will be doing a stitch tutorial for that shawl here on my channel. Like I said, if I can get it started soon, I will promise I will do a stitch tutorial and get that released quickly, so that when that pattern will be releasing this year in 2023. Here we are. and that way you can analyze if you want to do it when that pattern comes out. And then you'll also have this as a reference point. The stitch tutorial is a reference point if you do want to knit it. It is a beautiful shawl. And then the other shawl, the third installment has already come out, and I want to try to get that started, but I got to get all these other projects going first, and I want to get the Rose of the Aegean knitted first, and then I'll work on the third one, and I'll tell you all about that. I will be participating in this year's Lace Lovers Club. I believe there's going to be 4 shawl patterns for this year, and I need to try to think about incorporating that into my time as well, because I believe it's March, July, October, December. I'm not sure. I can't remember the time points, but I know that I want to try to keep up with those instead of being so far behind, like I'm behind on these, because these came out last year for us in the Lace Lovers Club, and I just haven't touched them. And I should have had both of these already knitted, but I don't. So I'm going to be sharing them, and I hope to get a stitch tutorial for you guys so you can see if you want to knit it or not. I think you will. It's a beautiful shawl, and it's beaded. It's one of the few shawls she's done that's lace and beads, which I'm really excited about. The next thing I want to talk to you guys about is I did get a Happy Mail when I was off in between Christmas and New Year's, and I went ahead and opened it. And I did a video for my friend who sent me this, and I really do appreciate it. And I just want to share this with you guys. I've never seen anything like this before. So I want to share it, and then I want to say thank you, and I want to share this person as well. Look at what I got. And this beautiful, it's a little Christmas tree stitch marker holder. And this came from an Etsy store, but this is from Tracy Hamilton, and she told me that she uses it for her stitch markers. I'm going to use it for, all the stitch markers I got during Vlogmas. I think that would be so pretty on this, and I'm going to start putting them on there and start making it easier to access, because right now all my stitch markers are still in this can that I have. That actually will, it's a magnet on the bottom, so it can hang on the wall over there, but you can hear they're all in here, and I just need to have easier access. So this is a really thoughtful gift. Thank you so much, Tracy, for sending this to me. But I need to hang my stitch markers on there. So pretty, such a beautiful design, and so well made. And thank you so much for thinking of me. Please go check out her channel. She says she's going to be starting to do videos this year. I will link her channel down below. That's Tracy Hamilton. And I know she does crochet and knitting, and we'll be sharing all of that on her channel. And thank you so much again for the beautiful gift. I really do appreciate it, and I definitely need it. I'll be putting it to use to put all these stitch markers on there. So thank you so much. It's going to be awesome. Okay, so for stash reduction activities that I wanted to do for this year, I have bought myself a book that I really, really like. It's this book right here. It says Happy Thoughts. And I've kind of gone through it and started putting myself together. When I started putting stuff down, I had 855 items listed in Ravelry now. Each item, it could be anywhere from 1 skein. Some of my items are like 25 skeins, 30 skeins. So it just depends on what the item is as to how many skeins I have. I thought a good reduction for me would be to take go from like 855 down to about 750. If I could reduce by 100 this year, I think that would be a really good thing. Just doing the giveaways that I plan to do on my channel will reduce the number of skeins in my stash. If I use the yarn in my stash, it should reduce the number of skeins in my stash by about 60 to 70 items. So that's the majority of what I want to get rid of this year. And then that leaves me like 30 for projects. If I do more than that, that's totally fine. I'm just wanting to get it down to a more manageable level. For my room, I need to get some more shelving in there. I've got a treadmill we've got to move out. I've got to find a new home for it. And then I'll be able to get more shelving to put on. I have to put on another wall. I've got to put shelving on 2 walls. And then I'll have the space I need to put all the stuff that's in my closet onto shelves so I can see everything, and that will make things so much easier for me. And I can share I'll be sharing that with you guys when I get to that point, and how I organize it. I have an idea of how it's going to be best for me to be organized, for me, for it to be easy for me to find things. I'll share that with you. It's not by weight, it's not by color, it's just a totally different way, and I guess it'll work for me. And I'll share that later. But when I started doing my yarn organization, I looked at everything in Ravelry. I'm going to try to put some video behind this and record this maybe. But I basically looked at everything in Ravelry, and in Ravelry, I put my yarn, most of my yarn, I put all of my yarn in Ravelry about when in 2017. I took the time to take pictures of my yarn, every bit of yarn that I had. And in Ravelry, you can look yarn up. Most of the yarn is there. If it is not, you can add yarn to the database. You know, if that yarn dyer is not there, if they are so new that they're not there, you can add them so that you can put it in your stash. And taking a picture and putting it in my Ravelry stash, you can filter your Ravelry stash based on weight, based on name, based on colors. And there's a lot of different ways that you can filter your stash. So it's been very beneficial, but I think recently added. It's been very helpful for me to be able to do that. I've had to maintain that database since 2017, and I've been pretty good about when I get new yarn in, I'll take a picture and put it in there. When I buy something, I'll go add it to my database and just wait for it to come in, so that I just have to take a picture and then upload the picture. I would say 99% of the yarn that I own is there, or maybe 98%. There might be just a little bit that I bought for giveaways and stuff like that I knew was not going to be for me at all, that I have in my yarn room that's just for you guys, that I never put in my database. So there's just a little bit that I haven't put in, but I knew because it would never be utilized by me, that I didn't even need to. It's been helpful for me to have that database to organize for my projects. I can see everything that I have at a glance. I don't have to go looking through bins, looking through a closet, because right now everything's not on shelves where I can easily see it. When I get things on shelves where I can easily see it, it'll be different. But because I don't have that, this has been a tool that's been very helpful for me to see what I have in my stash and to put together projects. Like when I have a shawl to do for Stephen West and I need 5 colors, I can go through my stash easily and see what I got, what colors I have, what colors I think would look good, go pull those specific skeins instead of pulling out a ton of places or stuff, stuff here, stuff there, and try to match it up. I look at it first in my Ravelry database and kind of get an idea first there before I go start pulling stuff out. That's how I do it most of the time. The other thing that's really helpful with the Ravelry database for stash reduction is that you can export your data. There is a button over here on the right at the top of your database. It says export. Okay, so when you hit export, it takes it to an Excel database, which is perfect for me because I'm familiar with how to manipulate Excel. But I took it to an Excel spreadsheet. It allowed me to. It breaks it down into. It's got everything that you put in about all the different columns you put in about your yarn. It's got the name, it's got, whatever you put in about it, it recorded it. So it's got the name, it's got the type of yarn, it's got the color, it's got the weights, it's got the grams, it's got the yardage, it's got the number of skeins, the numbers of meter per skein, if that's there, the total yards, total meters, total grams remaining, if it's something you've used and you have a partial amount remaining and you put that in there. And dye lot, all the information you've put in there, it puts it in there. There's even more that I'm not seeing here. It's if you put where you stored it in, if you put it in a bin number, it'll put that in there. How much you paid for it, the purchase date, where you purchased it out, all the information that you put in for that yarn it has it recorded in the database. One of the things I thought was very handy is when I exported it to an Excel spreadsheet, I could just go to the skein column, sum it all up from top to bottom, and see how many skeins I had for my yarn total, for my totals. And when I did that, I about died. I have 2,425 skeins, 0.84. I think a lot of them are mini skeins. Like some of my adments are 25, like 25 mini skeins, and I just got 4 of those, and I have one from last year, so that's 125 of those. But still, I do know that I have like 25 to 26 sweater quantities of yarn. And then I know that I do have several amounts of yarn where there are blanket quantities. Like I know that some of the skeins I have are like 16, 17 skeins of yarn, because I was going to make a big blanket with them. So I probably have like 4 or 5 of those. So I knew that it was going to be a good amount. I didn't expect it to be over 2,000. So anyway, I'm not going to look at that number as much as I'm going to go by the total entries I have and take that from 855 down to about 755, because it'll eliminate more than that too. Like if I do a sweater, it'll take the sweater quantity down too. So I think that's how I'm going to do it. I'm comfortable with that. I kind of looked through that. A lot of these, I do have projects in mind for them, if you can believe that. Because I have done this before. There was a point in time in 2017 where I didn't have specific projects. I sold a lot of yarn. In Facebook groups and through Ravelry. And since then, I have been buying things with projects in mind, specific projects in mind, and things I still want to make. So that's kind of why I want to focus more on making the things that I want to make this year, instead of getting sucked into the mystery knit along black hole that I always love to go down, because there's so much fun, and it's fun to knit the new, latest and greatest thing. And it's when it's fun to knit something when a lot of other people are knitting it, and I love to make mystery knit-alongs. But this year, I am still going to do a couple of them. Like I said in my last vlog, I'm going to do a couple of them. But I think last year I did quite a few of them. I know I did Romy Hill. I did Helen Stewart's. I did Marianne I did Stephen West. There was somebody else. I did Casapinka. So I did quite a few of them, and I think this year it's probably going to be more like Romy Hill. Probably that's it. I don't know. We'll see. I'm not going to promise anything, but I really want to focus more on finishing up the whips that I have, because I have 17 of those that need to be finished. I want to finish those or frog them. I know there's a couple that I might end up frogging. Maybe more than a couple. But if I frog them, I'll mention that and reclaim the yarn for something else. I think there might be more like 4 or 5 projects that I might end up frogging and reclaiming the yarn instead of finishing the project. And I'm going to be looking at, the blanket projects I started last year with the... It was the free blankets. So one was a crochet, one was a knit along from Expression Fiber Arts. I don't know if I'm going to finish. I got to look at those and see what they ended up looking like. I was really into the crochet one. I didn't know about the knitted one. So I may frog it and reclaim the yarn. I didn't get that far. I think I stopped in February. So if I have to frog it back, it won't be that hard to do that. So I might do that. I'm just going to take a look at that and just try to make a smart decision, and not just make something just to make something, and not enjoy it. I want to make something that I enjoy, and that I'm going to use, let's see. I hope I explained all the stash stuff. I will be continuing on with this as I have updates throughout the year in the vlogs. If I have an update, I'll give you guys it. If I don't, I won't. But I'll try to give you like a total update every month of the skeins I've reduced. Some of it will be for giveaway stuff. Some of it will be because I have made projects and I've reduced my stash that way. Now, with that being said, I can't believe I'm going to even say this. All right, with that being said, now, in the stash totals that I just told you guys, I've already included this yarn. Now, I was so bad, you know, I'm going to be good in it from stash this year. So last year, right before the end of the year, Miss Babs always has their annual gratitude sale, which is really good. It's usually like 20% or 25% off. It has to be in stock. Like it can't be something that you pre-order. And anyway, it has to be in stock. And a lot of times when I'm gone there, they've had like a couple of items I'm interested in. I'm like, oh, that's great. I get a couple of things, you know, reduced. Their stock's not that great. This year, when I looked at it, they were stocked up on everything. So I've got 2 orders coming from them, but I bought it last year, but it is included in my totals. So I'll show you that when it gets here. I also bought 2 orders from Ruby and Roses because I loved their Advent, and she had a sale on some of the Christmas sock stuff at the end of the year, so I bought some more of her stuff. And now that I do have to share with you today, so I'm going to show you that. Again, I bought it last year. I'm going to use it this year. I know. I think I'm bad too. I'm not going to buy any this year, though. All right, so let me show you what I got. I got quite a few sock sets from her. So cute. Her sock sets are so cute. All right. Actually, this first is just regular yarn. This is her single rows base. It is 437 yards, 100 grams. I thought this would be such a beautiful shawl, or if I don't use it, it would be pretty for a giveaway. But this is called Thunderclap. Look at this, and this is so soft. It is 100% superwash merino. It is a 1-ply, kind of like a Madeline Tosh, but it is so pretty. Look at the colors in this. It's purple, blues, reds, even some greens. And this beautiful bright pink. These are just, and some blues. These are really pretty. I see even some greens in this one. So it was just a really pretty coloring on that beautiful purple base. Anyway, that's 2 skeins of that. I got a sock set. I gave one away, and I was so sad when I was shipping it out. I'm like, I'm gonna go get another one. This is Caneberry. This is on the single row soft rose base. I showed this. I gave one away. I went back and bought myself the same set because I was like, I really want to make some socks in that. Anyway, happy to do that. No big deal. This is ooh, so pretty. This is butter beer and Lucky Penny. The mini is called Lucky Penny, but this is butterbeer. It's like a yellows, and look at that color with that. It's got that color in there. Look at that. That's the mini for that. This is on the soft rose base, which the soft rose base is 85% superwash merino, 15% nylon. Here, I'll show you that so you can see it. There you go. Isn't that pretty? Oh, such a pretty color. It's going to make really pretty socks. And then the last one I got in this order, and then I have one more other order to show you. Wow. Oh, this is the mini set I got. I got 2 of these because I forgot I had ordered one. So I may be giving one of these away. This is called the Letter Writer Speckled Minis. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 minis. Again, I got 2 of these. I forgot I got one. This is 7 variegated and speckled colorways, Rosebud Minis. Soft rose base, which is 85% superwash merino, 15% nylon. These are 87 yards per 20 gram mini skeins. And I thought they would go really nicely with the Advent set that I just got for whatever I end up making, either whether it's a blanket or if it's some sort of sweater. It just adds a few more minis to it. Isn't that pretty? They're so pretty. I mean, there's all kinds of colors in here. This is called the Letter Writer Speckled Set. And again, I've got another one in this other bag. I forgot, like I said, I forgot I ordered ordered it, and I ordered it again. I guess that means I really liked it. Give me 1 second. I'll make some crinkly noises. Alright, now in this order, I got more sock sets. For this sock, oh, this is so pretty. This is on the plump rose base. This stuff was the stuff that was really on sale. This was the holiday yarn. This is the plump rose base, which is 85% superwash merino, 15% nylon. It's called Holiday Style. It's a sock yarn. It's got the large skein, all these beautiful Christmas colorways, bright pinks and reds and the greens, kind of on a cream base. And then it's got 2 minis, which are the pink and purple. That pretty? Oh, so cute. That was on sale. That was like $30 for this, all of this. I know that was 40 something, but it was on sale for 30. So that was a really good deal. These were all on sale. Let's see. This was a misfit. This is a misfit, one of a kind. She had these on sale for $21 and some odd cents. When they were like regularly like $29, but they're something though they're beautiful, but they just didn't work right with the yarn or something, or with the dye or something. But I got this. That'd be some pretty socks. This is plump rose base, 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon. One of a kind. Those are the colors in it. This one was another holiday yarn. It says these are the special times. Plump rose base, 85% superwash merino, 15% nylon. And it's got this color full skein, purples, pinks. And then these are the 2 minis. It's got 2 minis, a pink and a lighter pink. Isn't that pretty? These are the special times. So that was on sale for $30. And then this was also on sale. This one's the Christmas yarn called Picking a Tree. Plump rose base, 85% superwash merino, 15% nylon, 2-ply. And this one's green. Isn't that beautiful? Looks a lot like Christmas with the red and the other colors. And then it has a white mini and a bright green mini. Love that. Let's make some cute socks. And this is the other speckled letter writer set. Same thing I just got. So I got 2 of those. And there's all the colors in them. They look a little bit different. This looks... Oh no, that was the one I was... Yeah, this looks a little bit more pink. And this looks a little bit more golden. So there's a little bit of variation in them. And this is a Rosebud Mini Soft Rose Base. 85%. 87 yards each. So, anyway. That's what I got from Ruby and Roses. And from Miss Babs, I got some lace yarn. I got one of their yearnings. I got some of their yummy 2-ply, and I'll show you that when it comes in. And again, that's new yarn, but it's already in my totals. I got it on sale. Really good sale. And I'm going to use it. These are all socks. And a shawl. And maybe a giveaway. Anyway. Thank you for letting me share all that and for letting me share the Happy Mail too. I appreciate that. And sharing all the projects I'm going to be working on. I'll be having a giveaway. I'll be picking a winner of my giveaway number 1 for this year on the 14th on Saturday. And then I'll be turning around doing giveaway number 2 on that same day. I'll try to record that and just push it right behind it after I announce the winners. So you guys can take a look at that and have a couple of weeks to enter. And I'll pick the winner of that at the end of the month. And I think that's where we're going with things. I think I'm just going to be doing more vlog kind of stuff like this. Just telling you about projects I'm working on. whips, stash reduction, yarn. I will be doing tutorials as I can. And still, that's one of my favorite things to do for you guys are the tutorials. So as I can do them, I will. I am a new sock knitter, sweater knitter. So I'm not so comfortable teaching you guys, but the things I do learn, I'm happy to share, like little tips and tricks. I saw something the other day that I'm going to watch about closing up the holes under the arms. So I'm going to, as I learn things, I'm happy to share with you guys, and you know I will. So I'll be doing that and excited to do that. And the last thing I wanted to tell you guys, almost forgot to tell you this. I started a Ravelry group for the Knitting TurnPike. It's called the Knitting TurnPike. It's in Ravelry. I'll put a link to it down below if you're interested in joining. It's free. You just have to be a member of Ravelry, which is free. If you want to go there, you can. We can chat. You can post pictures of your projects. You can start a thread. If you have questions, you can ask me a question, or we can, ask each other questions. There might be, somebody might be knitting a project, something that you might be working on that they might be able to help you out. But it's a place, it's kind of giving us what YouTube never has given us, a place to post pictures of our projects, to share pictures of our projects, and to chat with each other in a faster time and maybe a little bit more private. Not everybody is in Ravelry. They can, but not everybody is really in Ravelry. So it's a little bit place. It is now, again, it is an open forum, so just be aware of that. But we can chat more about knitting, and most people there are there for knitting and crochet. So I hope you'll enjoy that. If you want to go join, I'll link that down below. I hope you will. It'll be fun. I was actually able to figure out how to do that, so I was excited to do that and get that going for us. And I think that's all I have for today. It's quite a long video. I am so sorry. But I think these are going to be longer videos that I'm going to be doing, since I'm probably going to be doing one video a week. And then if I do that, and then sharing all of this stuff, updates on this stuff as I have it, updates on stash, updates on whips, projects, or yarn, or whatever I have, I will just, and if you guys want to hear, I don't have any plans to share any life updates, but I did share a lot about my life in Vlogmas. If you guys want me to share more stuff about my life, what's going on, let me know down in the comments below. I hadn't made any plans to do that, but if you would like that, I'd be happy to do some of that here and just let you know what's going on with us. Just let me know. I just don't want to, I feel like I'm giving you a lot right now. So just let me know. Otherwise, I'm going to wrap it up for the day. I appreciate you guys spending this time with me. It has been so much fun catching up. I hope you enjoy this type of a video from me. If you do, let me know down below. If you prefer me just to do the shorter project update type of videos, let me know down in the comments below. Be nice, though. Be nice. I am a person. I have feelings, so you can tell me in a nice way that this video was way too long. Or you're always welcome to send me an email as well. If you don't want to put a comment down below, you can send me an email. My email is all in every one of the description boxes under every one of my videos. So that's an option as well. But thank you so much again for spending time with me. I've enjoyed spending time with you. Have a wonderful day. Take care of yourselves. I'll see you very, very soon. All right. Bye-bye.